Hi, I'm Nicole Eileen, and today I want to talk to you about using LTIs in Canvas. That's using learning tools with Canvas. So, a few of the learning tools that we'll talk about today are Cami, Google, and Nearpod. So, we'll get started with that. First thing we'll do is go to modules. Now, you can do this from modules or assignments. Depends on how you like to work. If you like to create assignments from the assignment area, or if you like to create from modules. For me, I like to go with modules just because I can see how it's organized. So I'm going to go into week 3, hit my plus button here, and create a new assignment. Click new assignment. And I'm going to call this first assignment a Google Cloud assignment. So this is an example of the learning tool Google Cloud Assignment. This is something that you would use when you are trying to work collaboratively, when everyone's working together. This works with slides, docs, sheets, and even Google Draw. So I've created the assignment title. I'm going to go into the assignment now and click Edit so that I can edit my assignment. Of course, I would write my directions here. Let's just pretend like I've written a lot of directions here. I'm going to give it some points, a point value of 10. And then submission type is where you're going to look for. This one would be external tool. Okay, so we'll click the Find button. And you'll see that these are different LTIs. These are learning tools. Canvas Studio is one to look at. It's actually over here to the left in your blue toolbar. It's called Studio. It's great for videos in education. Of course, you have Edpuzzle and Flipgrid. These are things that maybe you've heard of before. Google Drive Cloud Assignment, though, allows you to pull in documents from Google Drive to Canvas. So again, this is when you would want to work collaboratively with other people. So I'm going to click that. And I would search these. This is my Google Drive. I would search my Google Drive for what I want it to be, and I named it Cloud Assignment Example. Okay, so I'm going to hit Submit. And then again, I have to hit Select. So from here, I would, of course, decide how many attempts I would like my students to have. I can assign it to everyone, or I can click just groups of people. So if you have smaller groups that you want to assign just certain assignments to, you can, of course, assign it to certain people in different sections and different groups. Give it a due date. I'm going to just say the 30th. And, of course, if you don't want it available forever, then give it some times for it to be available to and from. I'm going to hit Save and Publish. And when it comes up, you will see that we've created a cloud assignment. The students will receive a copy of the document they can modify for their submission. So what I did was I created a document that says what was your favorite part of the story. Student would put their name here, their answer here, and then each student could fill in one after the other as they get to the assignment. Once it's turned in, I'll have one sheet with all the answers on it to me. So that is an example of a cloud assignment. Again, a cloud assignment would be when you're trying to work collaboratively. I would suggest, if you're going to do something like that, to put in a table so that each student has their own spot to put in an answer. Okay, so that is one Google assignment. Let me show you Google assignment that's like Google Classroom. So, of course, I'm going to add an assignment. And I'm going to call this one just Google assignment. Add. Go ahead and click on that assignment. And of course, I need to edit. So from here, again, I would write in my directions. And obviously, I would have a lot more directions here than just the word directions. Give it a point value. I can decide where I want to put it. This one's going to assignments. Again, here under submission, we're going to external tool. And we're going to click find. All right, going to scroll down until we see Google Assignments. This one says collect, analyze, and grade student work with Google Assignments. Again, this has the feel of Google Classroom. So click this. It wants me to link it to my account, and it'll ask you to link it each time because it wants to make sure it's going into your account to get your file. All right, so I had the 10-point value before, so I'm going to have a 10-point value now. Of course, my due date before was the 30th, so that's going to be my due date. And of course, you can put whatever time you would like. And I'm going to hit attach. Now, if this is something that I might want to check for plagiarism, I would turn this on. But I'm going to attach my file. Now, in here, the first thing is whatever your recent files are. So my drive would be my Google Drive. Upload means I have something on my desktop that I would like to upload and put in here. And then, of course, if you have shared drives, between teachers, you could go in and get something. I'm going to click the one that says Matter and add it. And then I'll hit Create. Now, for this one, Google is going to create a copy for each student. Again, I'll have to click Select. And then I can make my choices. How many times can they do this? Who will it go to? When will the due date be? And then how long can it stay up here? Save and publish. Since this looks more like a Google assignment, we won't be able to really see it until a student submits it, and then you can see it. What I did was I had something called Matter, and I said, what are the 3 phases of Matter, or describe the 3 phases of Matter. So each student would get their own copy. Each student would type in their answers, and then they would hit their submit button. It would come back to me, and then I would start seeing them here in the submission area. Again, it looks like Google Classroom. So those are the 2 Google LTIs. So we have Google Cloud Assignment, which is like more of a collaborative thing where everyone's working together. And then we have just Google Assignment, which is more like a Google Classroom. Everyone gets their own copy. So if you wanted to put a slideshow in where everybody got their own copy of the slideshow, you would use Google Assignment, not Google Cloud Assignment. So to make their own copy, Google Assignment, something everyone's working together, Google Cloud Assignment. Now we're going to go back to modules, and I'm going to create one called Cami. Example. Now, you would use Cami when you have students maybe using desktops or laptops or Chromebooks. So I'm going to click Cami. You can, of course, use it with the iPad, but the iPad, you do not have to use Cami for the iPad, but you can. Edit. I'm going to put some directions here. I'm going to give this a point value. Decide what group it goes into. I could have homework here or test or whatever it is that I need. Submission, again, is going to be external tool. Do not click this button. When you click this button, it causes problems in Cami, so do not click this button. Again, how many attempts are you going to allow? Who's getting the assignment? Is this a small group, a whole group? Who's getting it? Give me a due date. And then, of course, when you want it available. Save and publish. Oh, I have to find. I'm going to go to Cami. So Cami says it allows you to pull documents from your Google Drive and send them in as assignment, turn it in, and grade it with Cami. So clicking that, I need to choose the file that I would like. So with Cami, it will put all the answers to students. All the student papers will go into a file in your drive called Cami. You can put in a PDF. You can do something from your shared drive, something from your Google Drive, recents, and then upload button. The upload button means, let's say you had a Word document or something like that, and you wanted it to go in and be a Cami file. Once you click upload, it creates it and makes it Cami-like so students can write on it. So I'm just going to go into my drive and look in here and see if I can find. I'm going to use this file and hit select. And of course, again, I have to click select. So now I'm going to save and publish. And then my students would see this. Now, when you're in your teacher account, do not write all over this because this is the master. See, these are my initials. So this would be the master. And if I write on it, that my students are going to see what I've written on. So if I were to go through here and put all the answers in, my students would see that. So don't do that. This is like the master. Only write on it if you want them to see it. From the student standpoint, when they see it, there'll be a button over here that says submit, and their initials will be here. So it's going to automatically name it with their initials or their name. It's going to come back to you with their name in it. It'll go into SpeedGrader where you can see it. So they can use the text box function. If they're going to bubble in something, they can use the drawing function. Of course, they can choose which color they would like to use. So, and we are not on the free version anymore. We are on a paid version. So all of these things are unlocked and able to be used. Again, your students will have a submit button here. Once they're finished, they'll write in everything they need to do, either with text boxes or the drawing tool. And then they will hit the submit button, and it'll come back to you as the teacher. So that is the Kami assignment. So we've gone over Google and Kami. And now let's do one last one, Nearpod. So I'm going to hit my plus button, new assignment, and this one we're going to call Nearpod example, and add. So again, if I am ready for week 3, I'm going to publish this. Until I click this button, none of these are going to work. So if my module goes unpublished, no matter if it's published here, it's not going to work for me. So make sure I hit the publish button when I'm ready for everything. I'm going to go to Nearpod example, edit, my directions, my point value, where I want this to be. Submission type is external tool. I will find, and I will go to Nearpod. So there's Nearpod. Let me show you the others here. There's YouTube and Zoom. But I'm going to choose Nearpod. Now Nearpod's going to ask me, it's going to go to my dashboard. So when you do Nearpod, you need to make sure that you've already gone into Nearpod and chosen your assignment, what you want. Okay, you have to have already picked it, and it has to be on your dashboard in Nearpod. So I've already gone in and I did something called rhyming words. I found it and I said, this is what I want. So I have to choose, am I going to do this as a live participation or a student-paced participation? Now, if you are in class and your group at home and your group in the classroom are all going to be working at the same time, you're on a Zoom meeting and everybody's going to be working at the same time, you can go live. But if you have students at school and students at home and there's not a Zoom meeting going on, but they do have an assignment for Nearpod, then you're going to go student-based. So just for what we're doing, I'm going to click student-based. And of course, I have to click select again. I have to tell it how many attempts. Who is this going to be assigned to? Is this only for my virtual kids? Is this only for my kids in the classroom? Or is this for everyone? Who is it assigned to? Give it a due date. How long is it available for? And save. My Nearpod example comes up. My students only have to click join lesson. They've already been signed in. They're going to join the lesson, hit next, and go through the lesson. Now, if it's a live lesson, then of course you control that. But as we get through here, the students can go through and answer questions. So that is an example of Nearpod. So again, today we have gone over the LTIs, Google Cloud Assignment, Google Assignment, Kami, and Nearpod. Google Cloud Assignment is more of a collaborative assignment. You can do it with docs, slides, sheets, draw. Google Assignment is it will make a copy of it. It will make a copy of your doc or your slide or your sheet for everyone. Your Kami example is more for those students who need something that they have to write with. They're using a Chromebook, a desktop, a laptop, something like that. And then your Nearpod example. Remember, you have to choose in Nearpod as you're going through this, whether you want it to be a live lesson or a lesson that is student-paced. So I hope that helped you with LTIs. Again, we have several other LTIs that you can go in and take a look at, but today's focus was Google Cloud, Google Assignment, Kami, and Nearpod.